Okay guys, so today I'm going to talk about my training, and I want to talk about something else that's kind of been weighing on my mind. So as far as training, I'm going to show some clips here. It's been a mix of almost HIIT type workouts, metabolic conditioning, whatever you want to call them, as well as some heavy lifting. So I've been mixing it up, a lot of different stuff. So what you're going to see here, 320 bench. So I wanted to kind of test my bench to see where it was at the other day. And I hit a pretty comfortable 320 pound pause bench, which, I'm pretty happy with because right now my body weight is around 212 pounds. So that's 25 pounds down from where it was at, where my body weight was at in like February, I want to say. Even at the meet in December, the meet I weighed 237. I was fasted in the morning. I hadn't eaten at all or anything like that. But even February, as close as February, I was like 237. So I'm 25 pounds down, which is a significant amount. So I'm really happy with the 320 bench, having not trained bench as much as I was before with as high of a frequency. Now, banded push-ups, I'm going to show those as well. So banded push-ups are something I've been doing to almost make for a harder variation of push-ups, obviously. So at the Athlete Next Games coming up in 3 weeks, I know there's going to be push-ups. So one way I've been training for that, banded push-ups. Banded push-ups are actually a great exercise to make push-ups easier. And push-ups, why should you do them? They're going to make your chest grow. I would say I get a better chest pump from push-ups than bench easily. Like the chest pump from push-ups is pretty substantial to the point you're like, wow, these really must be doing something. So I'm going to throw those in on a more frequent basis as well. And then also I'm going to show you your split squats. So split squats I'm showing here are with 70s, but the other day I was doing like a metabolic conditioning workout, and I did 10 rounds of 8 reps each leg with the 80s. So the 80s weren't bad. I could probably do 100s no problem for 8. It's more the grip aspect. So anyone who's done split squats with dumbbells, it's the grip aspect where it gets difficult. Your hands start to want to give out. That's the biggest thing you're going to see. So I might switch to a barbell at some point soon so I can push these heavier. But I'll probably go up to 100s, and then at that point, if I'm doing 80 reps each leg, I may need to switch to a barbell soon and thereafter to not only go heavier, but the grip component is the toughest thing. So like an example of one of those workouts was, let's paint it for you. Okay, 7 sets of 10 on trap bar deadlifts, followed by 7 sets of 12 on dumbbell seated shoulder press, followed by what was the next one? 7 sets of barbell 21s for curls, where you're going 7 this way, then 7 up top, and then 7 full. And then the last thing I think was 7 sets of 5 reps each leg, so 10 reps total on alternating step-ups holding 50-pound dumbbells. So that was an example. So actually, I wouldn't do those all, I wouldn't do all 7 sets of trap bar deadlift and then go on to the next. So it's like 1 set, trap bar deadlift, 10 reps, and then I'd go to 12 reps of seated shoulder press, and then I'd go to 10 reps total of step-ups, and then I'd go to the 21s. And I would do those with no rest and just knock them out. And then I would basically take a walk, about a minute, 2-minute walk, come back, do the next round. So this workout is an example. That workout I did, let's see here. It took me about, I'm going to pull it up here, 51 minutes. So this is 7 rounds, 51 minutes. This is, semi-inaccurate, but it says 600 calories burned. And the average heart rate was 130 beats per minute, which is comfortably in my lower zone too. So that's what I got out of that one with the trap bar deadlift and all that sort of thing. And that'll be lighter. So if I'm doing a workout like that, it's going to be a lot lighter as far as the weight. So trap bar deadlift was 280 pounds, 2 reds per side, 60-pound bar. Step-ups were with 50-pound dumbbells in each hand. 21s were 55 pounds. And then what was the last one? The shoulder presses were with 50-pound dumbbells. So that's like a conditioning type workout, whereas I'll still do my heavy work, like the heavy sets of bench. The other day, sets of 5, 265. And then deadlift the other day, sets of 5 at 463 pounds, which I'm going to show here. And I was actually shocked at just how easy the 463 moved. So this was my second week consistently getting back into heavy deadlifts. And this was much easier than the first week. The first week I did 441, and 463 was a joke here. I mean, it was flying to the point I'm like, I wonder if I got 600 pounds in me still. So that'd be pretty cool to get to like a triple body weight deadlift, let's say 200 pound body weight, and then pull 600 plus pounds. Because obviously, guys, I'm trying to be healthy and still strong and have as good a physique as possible and balance all these things, more of that hybrid role, which I think is a natural progression as you get a little older. Quite simply, I want to be around as long as possible. I want to spend time with my wife, my daughter, my parents. My parents just moved here, guys. This is remarkable. So my parents lived in Wisconsin their whole lives. That's where I was born and raised. 23 years I spent there. My parents have been there literally their whole lives. They're in their 60s. They just moved 20 minutes away to Tennessee to be around, their grandchild, my daughter, and be around me, obviously, as well. So, this is something I thought about because I heard a quote from, I can't remember who it was. It was the guy who spent time with David Goggins, basically, right here. He's the CEO guy who had him live with him. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he's got Jesse Itzler. He's got great stories on Rogan. He said a thing where he was like, if you only see your parents like once a year, it's not that you have 20 more years with your parents or whatever. You have 20 more times with them. It was something along those lines. It was basically like if you only see them, that one or two times a year, you don't have 20 more years with them. Let's say they're 65 and they live to be 85. It's not 20 more years. It's 20 more times that you'll see them. So this is kind of a cool thing now to go from that kind of perspective where maybe they would only come down a couple times a year and I would go up there maybe once a year and not even be able to go up there, to where now I'm seeing them 3-4 times a week. So it really is cool to have that family component. But basically what I'm getting at back to the story with the training is it's a different type of training where I want to be in the best shape possible, but I still want to be strong. So I'm not throwing away my strength background. And I'll get into this more later on, but like I want to be strong, but I also want to be the best blood work possible, as fit as possible. I want to be able to do some crazy races and such. So the number one goal, I've talked about this, for November, my city, Oak Ridge, has a half marathon. November 10th, I want to go sub 140. It's an hour and 40 minutes. That's like a 7:27 pace, which is going to be tough because the most I've ran at that pace up to this point is 2 miles. I can run 2 miles at 7:27 outside before I start to blow up. So that's a big thing. It's going to be difficult, but that's kind of the goal now. That would place me in like the top 90th percentile at that race. Basically anything below 140, you're in the top 10% of that race. So that's cool. That's a goal. Obviously, I think it'd be cool to deadlift 600 pounds, which I think I might be able to do now, or even 650 pounds with the lighter body weight. And then bench 350 pounds is the goal to get back to, which I think I can get these numbers just by ramping up my powerlifting frequency again. Like I think they're going to be there. And right now I'm at a point where I want to train split squats a lot harder than back squats. Back squats never feel great for me and I kind of get burned out on them. So I know that if I train split squats and deadlift, I can pretty much back squat high bar even like 500 pounds at any point. So that's kind of where training's at. I'm doing a lot of pause deadlifts, you'll see as well. So 2 sets of 5 at 424 pounds, very comfortable pauses. They felt great. But really, I've been thinking about this a lot. And time is one of those things we don't get back. We're never going to get our time back. It's going to be, we're here on Earth for a certain period of time. We don't know how long, obviously. And then it's all gone. So every day you choose how to spend that time. You choose what to do. You choose where you're going to invest the time. Now I've thought about like how much time am I putting into things each day. So every day, I'll pretty much run about 6 miles, guys. Like, for real. Let me look at the stats here. So 6 miles takes me just under an hour most days, because most days I'm not running crazy hard, but I'll do around 6 miles. Let's see here. The month of May, 130 miles ran, 129.3. Significant amount. So about 6 miles I'll run. I'll get in like a lifting workout some days. So right there, you're at 2 hours. 2 hours invested in that. Talking to clients, answering clients, we're looking at about another 5 hours. And then training clients here at the gym, we're looking at another, let's say, 2 to 3 hours. And then if I'm making a YouTube video, that could be another 2 hours. So what are we at here? We are at 12 hours total. I'll sleep about 6 to 7 hours. Like, sometimes I'll take a 30-minute nap. Wake up at 4:30, go to bed at like 10:30, 11ish, and then there's a lot of time where I'm like, reading about sports and such. It's just wasted time. I'm like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? And I just want to get to a point where I can spend more time with my daughter. I can grow the channel more. The channel gets put on the back burner when I become really busy with other stuff. And it's just one of those things. It's like, the channel, I feel like I have a lot to offer. I feel like I have a lot to talk about. And channel's been put on the back burner. So I want to prioritize the channel more, grow the channel. I just want to provide good content. And one thing I've thought about, and this has been a hard thing, with my coaching business, I'm like, would I be better off, being able to put more time into each guy? That's a serious question. I've been doing this for 10 years, guys. 10 years. Since 2013. I've been coaching guys to get stronger. And I feel like I've genuinely tried every second that I'm doing it to do the best job possible. Like, that's one of those things, I don't think I'd be here 10 years later doing it if I didn't feel like I put, my best possible work into it. And I'm proud to say that everybody's different. I never cookie cutter it. Never. I'm never like, okay, I'm just going to use this, and this, and then that's it. I think in some regards, warm-ups, and some of the warm-ups as far as like initially when I'm starting out, I think these principles apply to everybody. But as far as the actual programming, the actual time investment, the emails, the back and forth, that's all completely customized. So it's quite time consuming. There's a lot of guys. And I'm almost wondering though, like, what if I could do more voice messages all the time? What if I could do more of that? A lot more check-ins, a lot more of that kind of stuff. So I'm almost leaning towards a route where I'm taking a leap of faith to have less guys, which is going to be scary because I don't want to leave anyone out to dry. This is a difficult transition. It's something I'm struggling with. I'm praying about how to best go about this because I want to free up some time for other things, but I also want to do a better job with a more exclusive group. So it's tough. It's one of those things where I'm like, things are going well now. Like, my life is successful. It's going well. But you're almost taking that leap of faith, that jump to try to be, to try to improve to a different level. So it's one of those things where I don't want to step on any toes, and I want to genuinely offer a better value, a better experience to guys by having less guys I'm working with, which seems to be a natural progression as far as doing other things. And there's some big goals I have in the next year. And, a couple of the guys I work with train at my gym. My gym's very small, 3,600 square feet, and I work with 3 guys from here. And it's just like sometimes I don't feel like I can invest in each individual what I want to because I'm stretched too thin with too many people. So this is one of those debates. It's one of those tough things. And I'm glad you guys, I appreciate you listening to this because it's like, I want to offer a better product. How do I do that? And I'm taking that leap of faith. So sometimes you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Running's a good example. It's not my comfort zone at all. I've never been like, I love running. This is great, guys. Like running, I've been running now 3.5, 4 months continuously, like every day. There's been a lot of days where it sucked, where my shins are killing me because I'm a heavier runner, heavier body weight. And it's gotten to a point now where I kind of get a runner's high. Like I'll get done and I'll feel amazing the rest of the day. From the hard work I put in, A year ago, if I tried to go run in 80-degree heat, it would have buckled me and I would have quit. And now I just don't even think anything of it. So we do evolve in life. We do have to step outside of our comfort zones. We do have to make uncomfortable decisions, have uncomfortable conversations. One of the most difficult things that I've experienced is having honest, uncomfortable conversations. Sometimes like being transparent and opening up to people is not easy. When you're like, hey, my life's not perfect, guys. I still have stresses. I still don't have a lot of savings. I'm not where I feel like I should be in life. I'm a provider. I pay my bills and there's not a ton left over at the end of the month, It's just, these are real conversations, but people don't talk about them. Everybody thinks the people they see on the internet, the influencers and such, whatever you want to call them, the internet personalities, they think they're all living in, $500K, $1 million homes, driving, a G-Wagon or something. I don't know. And it's like, it's not often like that, I think. But I think people are too scared to show a more humble image. You're expected to have a certain presentation. You're expected to be rich. I'm like, we live in a very modest home. I drive a very modest car. I have debt. I have credit card debt like everybody else. I have tons of bills like everybody else. I stress over this stuff. I stress over finances. I stress over not having much in savings. I stress over poor decisions. I mean, I had been saving for a little while. I'd been saving I think it was like $10K a year when I was living alone. And I had it in like a 401K and I pulled it out and basically put it all into Bitcoin and Ethereum and lost like 80% of it, 85. So, you could say, well, that could still go up, but that basically blew out my savings. So there's poor decisions, there's these things that we go through. And I don't know, I'm just trying to be as open and honest as possible about this kind of stuff. To show that I am human, we all are human. The struggles are there for me too, guys. So sometimes I think about how can I improve my life, and you get down to the most simplistic things of how can I spend more time with my daughter? How can I spend more time with my wife? How can I not be so stressed? Because at the end of the day, you're paying for your time. You're being paid for your time. So your time's going away one way or another. The time you have every day, the time on earth, you're getting that much closer to death. Death is always getting closer. So is it worth the money if you're throwing away all your time? And that's one of those things you have to think about with anything you do. How much time investment into each thing? Do I want to be the coach? Do I want to be the coach who has 100 people? Or even 50 people? Because I've worked with 50. I'll often have 50 guys. But I've never gone 100. I've never gone over 60. 60 I think I've had at some point. But usually I'll have 45 to 50 guys. Or do I want to be the coach? But the point is, do I want to be the coach who has 20 guys, 25 guys, but really does a really good job with those guys? And I feel like I do a really good job with the guys I have now. But really invests into that smaller group. And I almost am going that route more and more because I'll be able to do a better job and it'll free up more time for this kind of stuff. But yeah, these are just kind of my thoughts that I've had. And I just want to do more YouTube videos, which means being more open and vulnerable and, all this kind of stuff. And so I don't know. We'll see what you guys think of the video. I do want to do some more training-based videos, show, maybe client presentations, my fundamentals of things I've learned over the years in my 18 years in strength sports. I'm going to be going on Dave Tate's podcast again in 3 weeks. And then a day later, I'm going to be flying out to New York City to go to the Athlean X event, which I will be presenting at. So I'm actually going to be up on the stage speaking this year on Friday. So this will be 2 days after the interview with Dave Tate. So it's going to be a busy week that week. But this is good stuff. Like, I love getting my message out there and helping people. So appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, thank you.